The United States Department of State, or State Department, is an executive department of the U.S. federal government responsible for the nation's foreign policy and international relations, equivalent to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of other nations. Its primary duties are advising the U.S. President, administering diplomatic missions, negotiating international treaties and agreements, and representing the U.S. at the United Nations. The department is headquartered in the Harry S. Truman Building, a few blocks from the White House, in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood of Washington, D.C. Foggy Bottom is thus sometimes used as a metonym. Established in 1789 as the first administrative arm of the U.S. executive branch, the State Department is considered among the most powerful and prestigious executive agencies. It is led by the Secretary of State, a member of the cabinet who is nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate. Analogous to a foreign minister, the Secretary of State serves as the federal government's chief diplomat and representative abroad, and is the first cabinet official in the order of precedence and in the presidential line of succession. The position is currently held by Antony Blinken, who was appointed by President Joe Biden and confirmed by the U.S. Senate on January 26, 2021, by a vote of 78 to 22. As of 2019, the State Department maintains 273 diplomatic posts worldwide, second only to China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It also manages the U.S. Foreign Service, provides diplomatic training to U.S. officials and military personnel, exercises partial jurisdiction over immigration, and provides various services to Americans, such as issuing passports and visas, posting foreign travel advisories, and advancing commercial ties abroad. The department administers the oldest U.S. civilian intelligence agency, the Bureau of Intelligence and Research, and maintains a law enforcement arm, the Diplomatic Security Service. The U.S. Constitution, drafted September 1787 and ratified the following year, gave the President responsibility for conducting the federal government's affairs with foreign states. To that end, on July 21, 1789, the first Congress approved legislation to establish a Department of Foreign Affairs, which President George Washington signed into law on July 27, making the department the first federal agency to be created under the new Constitution. This legislation remains the basic law of the Department of State. In September 1789, additional legislation changed the name of the agency to the Department of State and assigned it a variety of domestic duties, including managing the United States Mint, keeping the Great Seal of the United States, and administering the census. President Washington signed the new legislation on September 15. Most of these domestic duties gradually were transferred to various federal departments and agencies established in the 19th century. However, the Secretary of State still retains a few domestic responsibilities, such as serving as keeper of the Great Seal and being the officer to whom a president or vice president wishing to resign must deliver an instrument in writing declaring the decision. On September 29, 1789, Washington appointed Thomas Jefferson of Virginia, then minister to France, as the first U.S. Secretary of State. John Jay had been serving as Secretary of Foreign Affairs as a holdover from the Confederation since before Washington took office. He would continue in that capacity until Jefferson returned from Europe many months later. Reflecting the fledgling status of the U.S. at the time, Jefferson's department comprised only 6 personnel, 2 diplomatic posts, and 10 consular posts. For much of its history, the State Department was composed of 2 primary administrative units: the Diplomatic Service, which staffed U.S. legations and embassies, and the Consular Service, which was primarily responsible for promoting American commerce abroad and assisting distressed American sailors. Each service developed separately, but both lacked sufficient funding to provide for a career. Consequently, appointments to either service fell on those with the financial means to sustain their work abroad. Combined with the common practice of appointing individuals based on politics or patronage, rather than merit, this led the department to largely favor those with political networks and wealth, rather than skill and knowledge. The Department of State underwent its first major overhaul with the Rogers Act of 1924, which merged the diplomatic and consular services into the Foreign Service, a professionalized personnel system under which the Secretary of State is authorized to assign diplomats abroad. An extremely difficult Foreign Service examination was also implemented to ensure highly qualified recruits, along with a merit-based system of promotions. The Rogers Act also created the Board of the Foreign Service, which advises the Secretary of State on man